Hi, I'm Myranda Bair. I'm an artist and educator here in Las Vegas, and this is my show, High Noon. This is High Noon. The original idea with the show was kind of to make a play on the idea of old westerns. So the idea of High Noon being this, kind of showdown time period where two people would show up at high noon and they would kind of have a face-off. So with this show, I really wanted to kind of foster a sense of responsibility about conservation, and I felt like this was a really good place to kind of do that because the way that this building was built was to sort of reflect the Las Vegas landscape. It's actually laid out like a clock. There's 12 pedestals in the center. There are 3 beehives. One stands for the hour, minute, and second hand. And the idea is that it is this meeting of high noon. So a meeting where we are kind of coming face to face with nature and natural creatures, and we're kind of having a little bit of a showdown. So the idea is that we don't have to come to that showdown. It's more of us meeting, recognizing each other's needs, and finding space in our daily lives to do certain things that can ensure that the nature kind of keeps going, and we don't just, kind of take over completely, but we find a way to kind of cohabitate a little bit better. This rotunda space is, I think, really interesting. Part of the way it's designed is so that you do get a lot of natural light in, and it's almost like a dome. So I like the idea of when people walk through this space, we almost become, actually sort of creatures within a terrarium in a way. And with my work, I do a lot of these containers inside of glass. So they look a little bit like terrariums or dioramas. And what I wanted to kind of connect was the idea of us looking and actively looking. So when someone walks up and they look at some of these pieces, maybe they start to slowly realize that they're looking at something, but they're within a giant space as well that's also contained. So it's this idea of even how we build homes or buildings, we build sort of containers. We kind of block ourselves off from the outside elements, and then when you're looking at these creatures, you're noticing they're also kind of blocked off from outside elements as well. So kind of forming, a little environment within a given space. And I really like to have a little bit of real versus unreal things. So for example, the paper creatures they're not real, they're fabricated to look real. So I think it makes kind of an interesting composition when you're looking at them, trying to figure out what is real, what is created, and sort of playing with that balance. I did an artist residency at Red Rock Canyon in 2014. It was kind of like a whole new world because I did get to work with BLM rangers, geologists, and biologists out at the park, and they really were able to teach me and educate me on different plants and animals and just the environmental factors that make this area what it is. I've been very interested in bees for a long time, and I've done several pieces on them. Without them, we don't have food, we don't have pollination. Obviously other things do pollinate, but the honeybees are really important to that. So when I made this piece, especially with the high noon and the idea of the clock, I really wanted the Beehive Towers to be in the center, to be more of like the central focus. And so the bees are all over the pedestals because they're kind of coming out and visiting these different plants and terrariums to kind of pollinate and bring back to the hive. So after this exhibition is over, one of the largest beehive blocks will be going to a farmer in Provo that does farm honey, and my hope is that I'll be able to photograph it actually in the field, so it can kind of be a living, breathing artwork that's not just visually interesting, but actually functional. I think it's something that would be awesome too, to even get honey from that specific box. So I'm really excited about that opportunity, and the farmer seems really nice. So I think it'll be a cool project. So High Noon is on exhibition through July 8th. So I hope you guys can make it down to the Clark County Government Rotunda Gallery and check it out. Thanks.